Do you need water?
I'm okay.
Okay, right.
Let's tell them how we met. How did we meet?
We met on a train.
Just randomly on the train.
We met on a train. It was literally the train you were on to Glastonbury as well.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Mad.
That is a lot of content for you to be doing.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I need to start getting someone to help me out, but yeah.
Mad. Get SPR tattooed on your
My boy's got it tattooed, like just there, innit?
No way.
Yeah, my boy Josh, he's like my best mate. When he showed me, I was a bit like, we have to make this work now. Do you get what I mean? Like, this is wild. So I'm glad that he did that. But yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everything for a reason. Obviously, we've been trying to get this going and you've accommodated me knowing I live so far. So thank you. Yo, this is Superlative. And you're tuned into After the Applause.
This is After the Applause. Hiya guys, welcome back to After the Applause. My name is Saoirse Marie and this is a podcast highlighting and platforming everything related to the grassroots within the live music industry, specifically in the north of England. We are on episode 40. How insane is that? Episode 40. There has been 40 episodes of After the Applause. And I'm so grateful, and I'm so grateful to everyone that's been watching, everyone that's been listening and following. No matter where you joined us, you are all welcome, and I'm so grateful for you all. I'm also extremely grateful to the guests we've had on and the way they've utilised this platform and supported this platform, I guess, as well. Let's just get straight into the first guest. So I am honoured to introduce this next guest. I have been watching his career from the sidelines for a while, and it was such an honour to actually have him on the podcast and interview him and speak to him. So this week we are very fortunate to have Superlative on the show. Superlative is known for his UK rap. He is a producer, he's an artist, he started out as a drummer. You'll hear it all in this podcast, so I won't share too much. But for this conversation, we focused on his career so far, how he's stayed so persistent over the past 10 years throughout his music journey, and his perspective on the scene, in particular the Manchester scene and the kind of drum and bass rap scene. Let's just get straight into it. Here we go. What was the first gig you ever went to?
First gig I ever went to. It's like a proper professional gig that I saw was actually Kendrick Lamar during his Good Kid, Mad City tour. So it's like, I hadn't seen, considering I love music, I hadn't been to very many gigs, you know what I mean? So it was Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City tour in Leeds, I think it was.
Oh, crazy. Okay.
In like 2013.
How was that whole experience for you?
It was mad. Obviously, I was listening to the album on repeat all the time. And there's a section in The Art of Peer Pressure where it kind of breaks down into this like live drum section. And they did that with a live band. And that like changed my life. I was like, wow, this is insane. Like, I want to do this. Do you get what I mean? I used to be part of a jazz band as the drummer. And I thought, this is that's nothing compared to what I've just seen here. I want to be at the front rapping and this happening. And here we are now, so...
Amazing. I feel like when there's a live band alongside an artist, it really does just elevate the music and just kind of brings a whole new perspective to the sound, for sure. For people that have maybe been living under a rock and don't know your music and don't know your work, how would you describe your sound to a new listener?
It's a tough question, you know. I do a bit of everything, do you get what I mean? But I think I make music that I like, and I make music that other people like. Do you get what I mean? I've got a bit of everything for everyone, and it's good music. That's all I can really say. I'm trying to refine that answer over the years, but I just make good music.
Kind of genreless, no boundaries.
Yeah, I just make good UK music. That's what I'd say. Do you know what I mean? UK influence, but I've also got a bit of an American influence. It's just good music.
Okay, I like that answer. I have to ask, where does the name come from? Because Superlative, it means like of the highest quality, of the highest degree. Yeah. So where did this name come from?
So I was in year 9, big up Miss Atkinson. I was in my English class, and I used to be called 10dB, which is like the most lamest name ever. Do you get what I mean? So, because I was a producer first, innit? I only started rapping because no one was listening to my beats that I put on SoundCloud. So I was like, if I just start putting poetry over it and then rapping a little bit, then people will say, oh, you know what, I'm better than that, and I'll jump on the beat. Oh, wow. So that's the only reason I started. But then when I started rapping a little bit, I thought I need a better name than 10dB. So we were in English class. Teacher said, this is what a superlative is. And I was like, you know what, I think that's me. And that's superlative, the origins of superlative.
Stuck with you the whole time.
Yeah.
That's quite young to come across a name like that as well.
Yeah.
I like that though. The confidence from young was there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what you were saying there about starting as a producer first, because that was one of my questions. Like, what came first, the producing or the rap? And did learning to create music and make music, did that come naturally with your drumming, like you said, or? Yeah,
so I grew up in Wolverhampton. At the time, bassline was massive when I started producing. So we were using like Reason 2 at the time, and then eventually Reason 3. So people were going around to like my brother's house. He had a computer with Reason on there. All of his friends were jumping on there making bassline. I was making like aggressive like rock music on Reason, and it just never worked out. Like my first ever tune was called like Dan's Mom Greb Greb, because we used to call like an emo over here or a goth is called like a grebo in Wolves. So I made like this Dan's Mom Greb Greb. My brother's called Dan. And I was like, yeah, cool, I want to be a producer, but I also want to drum. So it all just come from not really being able to afford drums until my mum got me some, wanting to program the drums in. And then all of a sudden I was like, I found dubstep and I found all of that stuff. And I was like, I want to make this now. And then, became a producer, so.
You started off with poetry?
Yeah.
Or did you kind of always know you were good at rapping or good at poetry?
Like I knew I was good at poetry. Like I remember we were in year 7 and we had to do like an ode to something.
Right.
Was this poetry. And I did like an ode to my belly button, which is weird in itself. Do you get what I mean? I remember it got put on the wall in class and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is sick. And after that I was like, yo, Miss Dixon liked it, so I'm gonna do another one. And I did this like sandwich one, and I just did loads of poems, and I was like, you know what, I actually really like poetry. So I wasn't a good rapper, I'd say. I remember someone passed away. One of my friend's brothers passed away over Christmas years ago. I wrote this bar and I was like, they say R.I.P., rest in peace, rest in pleasure. Don't know what that means, but and then my sister come in, my older sister Lauren, and she was laughing at me. She was like, who says rest in pleasure? So she was like, that's rubbish. So I thought, oh wow, like I'm actually like not a good rapper, do you get what I mean? But I thought I'm gonna get better, and then Lauren will think that I'm not rubbish, I'll say. So yeah, and then now I'm not rubbish, do you get what I mean?
That kind of links with the next question I've got for you about persistence. So on one of your I did a deep dive on the Instagram, and on one of your earliest posts, in the caption you said, dreams don't come true overnight, but you will get where you want to be with persistence and determination. And there was a video of you recording yourself rapping in October 2015.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this from October 2015 to now. What has kept you so persistent?
I just think, for me, obviously my ethos is SPR, as you'll know, succeeding, pushing reality. I think this is always, for me, there's no option but to do this. Do you get what I mean? I like doing other things, but this for me is the only way I feel like I actually am alive. So people say it is persistence, and there is a lot of negatives. Like I'll get into it in a minute. One day life looks amazing, the next day life isn't so amazing. And it's like, but for me, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on around any of this. I just make music and I will get where I'm going to be. So it is persistence, but it's just unwavering confidence that I'm going to get where I deserve to be if I keep putting in the effort and showing up every day, really. You
kind of answered my next question as well about SPR.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with this ethos?
I think it was in me before I knew it was SPR, if that makes sense.
Can you remind the people what SPR stands for?
Yeah, so it stands for Succeeding, Pushing Reality. And to me, like I said, I didn't grow up with a lot of money. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people in this rap game and music game, we have a similar beginnings, do you get what I mean? And I've always thought, coming from Wolverhampton, some of the friends that I had, I look back now and like some of them are in prison, some of them are doing this, some of them are doing what. And I've always just thought like, I'm never going to let the obstacles that are in front of me or how people say I should live my life because I'm from this place. Like I've never let that be my reality. I've always just said, I'm just going to keep doing this, chipping away at it. and I will continue to succeed in pushing reality. Do you get what I mean? Because that's all we can do. Reality is reality, but you can also change your reality. So that's what it is to me, succeeding pushing reality. And I think I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're doing very well. You're doing very well. That relates to a video I saw on Instagram that I actually saw because you'd reposted it about Darko and her friends from when she was younger.
Mm-hmm. That was last night, you know. Yo, Saoirse's on this, you know.
But I'd seen it on my feed because you'd like done, you know, that new repost thing.
Can I just check? What do we feel about this?
I don't
do people
think I
see
like
it?
it.
I don't even know is it efficient? Does it work? Is it people getting reach?
I think it's like if you follow somebody and I think it's people that maybe come up on your feed quite consistently.
Okay.
If they're reposting something, then that comes up on your feed, because the only stuff I'm seeing reposted is people that are like the first people I see on my stories anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening with that. I'm not a whiz tech. I'm not an Instagram informant, but that's what I think anyway. It's interesting you say that because you're so heavily influenced by the people that are around you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if there's people that are in similar situations to you, like what you were in 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if they're watching this, what kind of advice would you have to them to kind of do what you did and not be influenced by the people around you, the friends around you that are kind of like family?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is learning when to say no. It's an uncomfortable thing, do you get what I mean? And I've missed opportunities, or I've not been involved in certain activities because I've learned to say no when it doesn't feel right to me, do you get what I mean? And ultimately, if I don't feel like doing something, you're not going to get me to do it. Like, it doesn't matter how bad you are, how big you, like, I don't care. I'm not going to do it. Do you get what I mean? And you kind of need to have that about you, especially in this industry. People are going to push you into a corner and make you feel like you need to do this. And, to be successful here, you need to. No, if you know for yourself if it feels right to you, and you don't have to be at every party. You don't have to be at you can't be everywhere at once, but the one place you can be is content inside yourself. Do you get what I mean? And just say no, say yes when it feels right. And also, some friends feel like friends, innit? And some people, like, I've got some great mates, and I've also got some bad mates. Some of the great mates are doing some stuff I don't like to be involved in. Do you get what I mean? But I know they've got my back to the ends of the earth and stuff like that. Am I going to chill with them every day and get involved in that lifestyle? No, because like you say from that story, it doesn't serve me well to be there. And even them in themselves know that. And ultimately, if your friend is really your friend, they respect that you're on the hustle. So it is what it is. Do you get what I mean? The people who understand you are the people that you need to keep around.
You are kind of very well known for your rap and for your drum and bass music, and you're releasing quite a lot of music, drum and bass music at the moment. And I mean, I know I am involved in this point of view where a lot of big artists are doing this kind of like drum and bass crossover, like Stormzy with Chase and Status, and H has done stuff. And people are now seeing rap artists on drum and bass beats, and it's, for them, it feels like this new thing. And I'm not gonna lie, before I was like really engrossed within the underground, I was like, I thought it was kind of a new thing too. And I know a lot of people within the underground are kind of frustrated
100%
by this. So I kind of want to know what your thoughts and feelings are on the whole situation too. Yeah,
it's a weird one. I think culture should be celebrated at the same time. So when Afrobeats got big, everybody wanted to be doing Afrobeats. And I look down the lens right now and say 10 years ago, people weren't even claiming to be African. Like where I'm from, everyone was Jamaican, even though you were African, so don't even lie. But then everyone wanted to jump on Afrobeats. And I think at the minute, obviously, drum and bass has had a massive, not even a resurgence, it's always been there, do you get what I mean? But it's gone to the mainstream even more naturally. Depending on what level you're at in your career, people are telling you, yo, you should probably do a little drum and bass track, or hop on this. But also, I think with the exposure in the industry, there is now drum and bass for people that realistically couldn't digest it before. They didn't like it. They're hearing it more and they think, you know what, I could probably rock on a drum and bass tune now when I couldn't before. For me, it's not that. Like, we grew up listening to drum and bass, but I used to go to drum and bass raves. Still didn't feel inclined to make it. It was only when I went to university, like 3 years ago, and Noxic, Lou Simpson, and Clarky, and Franny, a stranger, they were all there making drum and bass. We used to have like little debates and that, and I heard them so much. It used to wind me up in it. It was just drum and bass all the time. They come into class, take over the class, and it's just drum and bass. So I think from that, it was a bit infectious. I started to make a bit of drum and bass, and I said, right, I just want to make a drum and bass tune. So I did. And it was a bit different to the mainstream drum and bass or jump up. It was just kind of my interpretation on drum and bass. And then I kind of fell in love with it again a little bit. I think there's always been a bit of a hip hop transition to drum and bass because of the tempos, which is a natural progression because it's just halftime in it effectively. So it's always been there, but I understand why people are frustrated about it because everyone's jumping on it now. And it's not necessarily being done in a tasteful way, is what I'll say. Do you get what I mean? So I understand the frustration, but also you should be proud that people are celebrating something that you've loved for so long.
You've been involved with the music scene kind of within Manchester for a long time. There's been a lot of change within the scene. What is kind of one positive thing you've seen that's been a good change within the Manchester music scene?
I'd say, obviously, I'm an outsider. I'm not from Manchester, do you get what I mean? So living in Bolton, where I was living before, I always wanted to break out into Manchester. So in 2017, me and my sister Caris, we were already releasing stuff together. And I said, listen, we'll get to Manchester. Once we get there, we won't leave, kind of thing. So for me at the time, Reform Radio took me under their wing. They made it possible for me to be in Manchester every day, effectively. So I wouldn't be where I am without them, really. And I think there's always been a bit of not segregation, but there's like, this is our sector, this is your sector, whatever. And I think now, like, I'm in a group called Idioms that Rory Green made. This is the first time I've been able to hop in a group chat and be like, yo, I've got a session at Abbey Road. Does any... I don't even think I said it was at Abbey Road because I knew everyone would jump at it. I just wanted people who want to make music, do you get what I mean? And hopped in the group, said, yo, I want to do this. Does anyone want to get involved? Everyone's like, yeah, we'll get involved. And I think 10 years, nearly 10 years, Jesus. Like nearly 10 years ago, I don't think those kind of... I don't think that kind of stuff was happening. Maybe I wasn't on the scene to know, but to me, that's a really big positive that you can hop in a group chat and be like, this is what's going on. There's events here. Like, there's people asking in the group chat, does anybody know any events I can go to today for under a tenner? And everyone's like, yeah, go here, go there. And can we put a fundraising event on for this? So I think there's a lot more community in Manchester than what I saw 10 years ago. And that's a big positive for me, really.
100%. I think community feels like a key word within the scene at the minute. You have a second alias.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
Tell me the backstory. Like, how did this second alias come about?
Yeah, so it's Riney, first of all, is my second alias. Riney is actually my dad's last name. We've got an okay relationship now, I'll say. But I thought, you know what? If I'm going to make some music and I need another name, I might as well use the name that I could have had. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, Riney is the artist name, but it's kind of exclusively a name that I made for sync licensing. So I do some stuff with a company called Hive Music and Position in America. And I thought it doesn't necessarily represent what I'm doing as Superlative. And I could have gone Superlative and maybe we'll do a tune that blows up. But for me, that isn't the message of Superlative. So I didn't want them to cross over each other because Superlative is me and my music and how I'm feeling and whatever. And while the sync stuff is good and it's still of a high quality, I just thought it gives me the space to kind of make music for the purpose of what it's actually for without kind of conflicting against what I'm doing as Superlative. Doesn't mean I'm going to start talking about stuff I disagree with personally, but it just gives me that freedom creatively to be like, yeah, this is Riney, this is Superlative.
Okay. And with the stuff that you've created under the Riley alias, it's been quite successful with the sync licensing stuff, hasn't it?
Yeah. I'd say I've had more sync success at the minute as Superlative with like tunes like The Wave and stuff like that. But when you look like at an industry level and the fact that I'm now working with distributors and sync companies, Riney will be, I think in a couple of years, will be quite a successful sync artist. I'll be able to then go to different places and be like, yeah, I can see myself getting further into the industry, like into the industry as Riney, and then being a creative artist and not a passion project, but I'll funnel all my money into Superlative and I'll make all my money through Riney. Do you get what I mean? That's the aim.
How do you define like a sync artist?
I think nowadays they're a lot closer. Back in the day, you could, when you hear a tune, you'd be like, yeah, that's made for an advert. Or you hear instructional video about science and some music's coming. Like back in the day, I think it was a bit, not lame, but it was music for purpose in it. So it was intended for that purpose. Now companies want organic, real music from real artists. They don't want, and they definitely don't want AI artists. They want real stuff. So the lines are a bit more blurred now. I still think it's great music, but it's just music with intention. So there'll be more breakdowns. There'll be bits where editors can edit stuff too, and you're kind of making music to a bit of a brief. Let's say we've got
commercial purposes.
Yeah, like we've got a Spider-Man film. We want high energy. We want strings. We want dum 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 dum, like all of that kind of stuff. So it's like that. That's music for moving image, really.
Has this second alias, has Riney kind of helped you as an artist, as a musician?
It's so different. I struggle more to write as Riney than I do as Superlative because I'm writing to a brief. There's people, I have to make sure they like it at the end of the day. Do you get me? Otherwise it won't go out. And it's like, as much as I've got creative freedom, it is a bit more of a structured music with intention. Whereas when I do Superlative, wake up in the morning, if I feel like opening up Ableton and something comes out nice, and I'm like, today I want to write about yellow llamas on the wall or whatever, I can. Do you get what I mean? So it's a bit of a difference. I wouldn't say it's necessarily help. I don't know. It's given me a different insight into the industry that I'm really happy to explore.
Just kind of what you were talking about there, yellow llamas, and then the belly button poetry and the sandwich poetry. What I really like about your kind of creative outlet is you're not just making music about your experiences, you're just making stuff about random stuff, kind of like conscious rapping about anything and everything, not taking it too seriously.
Yeah, like obviously I've always got one thing I am is super critical of myself, so you'll never hear the stuff that I'm not happy with. Do you get what I mean? And that's why I don't really like writing with other people in the room necessarily, because I'll fixate on a line by line basis or a word, and I think, how does that sound as a syllable to be? Does that hit right and stuff like that? So there's a lot of thought into it. Obviously, because I'm the producer as well, I get to bounce off both sides and be like, okay, this syllable as an hits better than an o, so I'm gonna have to rewrite this whole bit now because I like this. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it, but it just flows through me. I don't really have to think about it. The sync stuff I have to think about quite a lot. So
it's interesting that you say that you're very self-critical. I feel like there's a lot of creatives that are perfectionists as well that are just self-critical in wanting to do the best that they can. But as an artist, from what I can see from my perspective, I think you are an incredible artist, just generally, not just like with your work, but also in the way that you perform. So you've performed at Glastonbury twice, but you've also performed at smaller events like Raise the Bar and stuff like that. But at all of those events, you always bring the same energy, the same character, like the same positive outlook. You treat every event equally, which is what I respect in you as an artist as well.
Big up.
My question kind of is, what is a principle that you have when you go into performances that you take to every performance?
I think for me personally, nobody asked me to do this. So I owe it to you to give you a good experience, because realistically, I've asked you to come and see me. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm not I just make music at the end of the day. Like, as much as it is like a therapeutic thing for other people, and I've had people come up to me and say like, yo, your music spoke to me, it changed my life, and this, like, and it's like, that's really nice, I love that, but nobody asked me to do this, so I owe it to you. So whether I'm playing Pure Nightclub in Wigan to 5 people, like, thank you for being here, do you get what I mean? You don't have to come here. So yeah, like, what's the Glastonbury? It's just loads more people on the same scale. I think if anything, I'm more appreciative of the 5 people that come to a small show, and I like to speak to people, do you get what I mean? Once upon a time, an artist said, what are you doing going speaking to the crowd? Like, afterwards, like, you're supposed to come back here, like, create some like hysteria kind of thing and I was like, no, like there was a time where I was writing in my room hoping that 4 people would come and do this. So just because I'm 10 years into it, if 4 people come to see me now, I'm just as gassed as if 1,000 people come to see me. I just wish I could speak to the whole 1,000 people. Do you get what I mean? So, and also, I think I wouldn't be called Superlative if I didn't treat every show like it was supposed to be the best show ever. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That is very true. High quality always.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be a bit lame if not, innit?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What is the purpose? Well, I think you've kind of answered the question throughout the whole interview, but what is the purpose or what is the main message that you want people to understand and get from Superlative?
What do you think I'm going to say?
You're just here to make music.
I'm here to make music, but also SPR, innit? Succeeding, pushing reality. Outside of this music thing, I like doing videos. Like we were just talking about cameras and stuff a little bit before. Like that's my other. I've got other passions. Do you get what I mean? And I apply this to everything in life. Succeeding, pushing reality. You might not get that job. You might not get whatever, but whatever's meant for you shall come for you. You just have to be. You have to stay in the lane to make sure things are there. Do you get what I mean? My other saying, which you'll see, is everything for a reason. And it really is. I think everything for a reason. Trust that the things are happening to you, good or bad, because they're supposed to happen. Isn't always great at the time, but that's it, man. Like, carry that message, SPR, and you'll get through it.
Have you got any future plans, projects that you're allowed to tell us about?
Well, first of all, just did Abbey Road yesterday. The first, the official second recorded artist at the new Co-op Live /Adidas /Abbey Road studio. So that's
history.
That's quite historic, you know.
That is actually genuinely historic.
So I just want to big up the artists that were there yesterday: Bukit, Simon Lyon, Izzy McMahon, and then also Aki as well, and then Ivan, the engineer. And yeah, we made history yesterday. And then also I've got my crowdfunding project, which I raised £3,000, just over £3,000 for this year. We're working on that at the minute. We're pretty much finished on all the writing stage. Nice. So I've just got to record it with Sonus and get all of that done. And then that'll be out. Glastonbury 2027, I really want to get that. Like, if you watch this back and I got Glastonbury 2027, just say like, yo, you're the manifestation man. You know what I mean? But other than that, I've got some other tunes coming with some exciting people. I've got another drum and bass tune coming out on the 10th of October. And then I might be moving to Thailand in 2 years maybe. So if I'm doing that, I'm still going to come back and do shows, innit? I
just had another question, actually, just thinking about it, that you do a lot of collaborative work. You do a lot of work with Wanda, Boo, Sonus, you just mentioned there as well. Are all of these collaborations made from organic relationships you have with these people beforehand? Have you ever had collaborations with people that you don't have a relationship with before? I'd
say the only person I didn't necessarily know that I have collaborated with before I collaborated with them was Mr Scruff. Okay. I knew of him, but he definitely didn't know of me. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, other than that, I only work with people that I really, really respect, which is a privilege to be able to say. Yeah. But I think I work hard enough to be able to choose that.
For sure.
Like, I've got stuff coming with Predo on the project, and it's really nice. And I've got some stuff coming with Jay I Had a Dream, and these are people that I respect highly, do you get what I mean? So I'm going to continue to keep doing that. I might even have another tune with my sister coming out soon, so that's nice.
If people are excited about music that's going to come out, they've enjoyed this interview and everything, where can they find you?
SPRhub.com/superlative, or if we're on Instagram, then we will just say official_superlative. But I also have my Patreon as well, which I'm trying to get everybody to go over to, because we've got more stuff there. You get to see an insight into what I do in my daily life. So that is patreon.com/SPRhub. Come and join the hub then, and we'll welcome you with open arms.
There were so many key bits of information throughout that interview, but the things I picked up on in particular, one thing Superlative said was that it's not necessarily about persistence, it's just about this unwavering belief that there is nothing else he can do but succeed and do well from this, because this is what he was born to do, this is what makes him happy, this is what his purpose is in a way, succeeding, pushing reality. that's just his life motto, that's just his purpose with all of his passions and all of the creative work that he puts energy into. And that closely ties in with how he treats every concert, every gig that he performs at. I think that sort of mentality and that humble approach is what makes him so authentic and personal to audiences and listeners, and why he's so relatable and what will help him to continue on his trajectory, because he doesn't make himself out of reach. He's not trying to be mysterious or act like he's above everyone. He kind of sees everyone at the same level and at equal level, in a sense that he's grateful for anyone and everyone that comes to see him perform live or just listen to his music and support his music. Perfect timing with this episode as well, because Fugazi will be out this week on Friday, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. I will leave Superlative socials in the description on wherever you're watching, so you can go check it out on his social media platforms. And also make sure you say happy birthday to him, because it was his birthday the other weekend. So go say happy birthday to him. Thank you so much to Superlative for joining me on the podcast. It really was so insightful to hear your perspective on the scene and your trajectory over the past 10 years and where you're continuing to go. And also just having a bit of a laugh. It was a really fun episode. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, loyal listeners, for tuning in. As always, I am so grateful to you forever and a day. If you haven't already, please subscribe, follow, share, like, repost, do whatever you need to help get some exposure for the podcast and help platform creatives, give them the recognition that they rightfully deserve. And yeah, I'll see you all next week on After the Applause. Bye.